This is the TeamClearCoat podcast. We're two friends finally doing something about our obsession with cars.
We're probably not doing it well, but it should be fun, and we might actually learn something along the way. I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave, and this is our show. Ian.
Dave.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. You know, we need... This is Team Clear Coat podcast. Dave.
Ian.
We're live on YouTube, whatever. Ian. Mm-hmm. I think we might need to update what we say, the voiceover in our intro.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Because we did that. We recorded that around episode 10.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably redo that.
But it's not that it's stale, Ian.
Uh-huh.
It's that we need to add some content to it just to kind of address some things up front, just to get in front of some of the stuff that we deal with or that we want to get in front of on our own, right? Do you want to see where I'm going with this?
I don't know if I do.
What's happening over there?
I don't know.
But what I think what we need to add to it is it was brought to my attention this week.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because apparently we need to add an apology to the theme song. We need to say that we're sorry right off the bat. We need to say not to listen to us, do not do anything we say, and that we're sorry, and we're sorry.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes. So I'm specifically talking about Lauren's father, Jim, who listens to our show. Hello, Jim. I am so... Ian, just tell the people what happened. I'm just going to hang my head in shame and just say sorry. I'm going to mutter sorry. What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So what happened?
Sorry, Jim.
What happened was,
sorry.
If you've been following the show lately, which, again, we don't know why you would.
Jim, I'm so sorry.
If you've been following the show lately, you may know that we have been playing Fantasy F1 together.
Yep, fantasygp.com.
And Dave is famously a huge F1 fan.
No.
And has not watched a single race this year.
Correct, they're all soccer players.
And
now that the World Cup is on, does this conflict with their schedules? Their schedules if you're Canadian?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so Dave has no interest in Formula One at all. He does, however, have an interest in beating me at things that I care about.
Yep.
Because I get irritated when that happens.
Yeah.
And so a challenge was basically put out on Twitter. It was mostly my fault. And basically what happened was we had a bet over 1 week.
Pretty much,
that if Dave could beat me at Fantasy GP for 1 week, then I would listen to whatever he wanted to, and that would be the only thing I listened to for the whole week.
Well,
I said Autocra.
You said Autocra.
I volunteered Autocra.
Right, and then I think I said if I win the league, then you need to get an Autocra face tattoo.
Right. Tell ladies and gentlemen who may not know what Autocra is. What is Autocra?
So it's two British guys. They play electronic music. It basically
and everyone's done.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested.
It basically sounds like you found a fax machine in your basement after the basement flooded and then the water cleared. Then you plugged it in and lit it on fire and threw it down a flight of stairs at the same time.
I say that it sounds like two fax machines fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Or R2. You famously said R2D2 describing two fax machines fucking.
Yeah.
That's Ian Gold right there, buddy. That's Ian Gold.
That's funny. I don't remember saying it. That's funny.
Doesn't mean you didn't.
So
Jim,
our good friend Lauren, her dad Jim is an awesome, great guy,
Jim.
And he, for some reason, he otherwise has apparently good judgment and is a smart, intelligent man, but nonetheless listens to our show. And he listened to the thing about the Autocra bet, and he sent Lauren this message, which she sent to me. On the podcast, Dave was talking about one of his favorite bands, Autocra. I listened to a few songs. How could anyone call that music? Period. Not even a question mark. That's the best. When somebody delivers a rhetorical question with a period,
with a statement, yes.
That's how you know.
Yeah,
that you've wasted their time.
That you just need to update the theme song to your podcast that's been going for like 2.5 years now to include an apology right up front. So I would also like to put this out there that it's context, okay? All right? Yes, there is music that I listen to that I enjoy. Think about who I am. I'm a man just turned 40 that has a 1999 Swedish car in the garage rusting away as we speak.
Right.
Are these decisions that you're also going to make? I wear Lycra for fun. Like you don't like think about what you're doing when you're like, "Oh, well Dave likes that. I'll check that out."
Yeah.
That might not end well for you.
It's true.
Jim, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to inflict you with my bleep loops.
Should we talk about cars?
We certainly should. Yeah.
Or do we want to talk about? I guess we should talk about Autocra Week.
Yeah, let's talk about Autocra Week real quick. But first of all, did you hear that sound like Sunday evening over Metro Denver? There was this insane sound. No?
Have you been taking your special pill again?
It was this huge sigh of relief that you breathed when when you beat me at Fantasy F1 again.
Yes. I had to I watched it I was on tape delay on Sunday, so I didn't get to watch it till last night, and so I was all day oh God.
You didn't look at the standings until yesterday?
No, because it's no fun if I know the race finish.
Okay.
So no, I deprived myself of that knowledge for hours and hours.
Well, you did well. You scored 160 something. I scored 130 something, which I think is like my butter zone, right? Yeah. And our buddy Matt, last place. His predictions must have went all wonky. Poor guy.
Well, he's a big Mercedes fan, so that didn't go well for him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend if you're a Mercedes fan for sure. It was a crazy race, though.
Yeah,
it really was. Cars blowing up all over the place, and because the track temperature was crazy high.
Okay.
So tires were just falling apart.
What happened to Hamilton? He DNF'd.
Yeah, it was. What was the problem? I don't remember what they said.
Mechanical.
It was mechanical.
Okay.
But both
Mercedes
had mechanical problems. Bottas had a severe hydraulic. A sudden loss of hydraulic pressure.
That's not good.
And Hamilton's was, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Huh.
But yeah, it was it was a weird race. It was a weird fun race.
Well, I picked fastest lap Kimmy, and that was right.
Yeah, for once. Yeah,
for once.
He's had a couple, I guess, this year.
I don't think so. 2. I think this might be the first one. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Probably I'm one of the ones I didn't set a prediction on because I was just whatever.
Probably.
Yeah, that's how you win at fantasy sports.
Yep.
Don't play.
Anyway, so Autocra Week is over. I basically listened to 3 albums. I listened to each of them twice.
Okay, all right.
I listened to their first album, their third album, and then their 5th album.
Okay.
My favorite was definitely the third album.
Yeah. What was the 5th one called?
LP5?
Oh, yeah, LP5. Yeah. I think that might be my favorite of theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even there was stuff that I didn't like I didn't really I shouldn't say I don't like it. But and I could bring this around to cars too.
Sure.
So it's kind of the difference between you remember when we did that track day?
Yes.
And we drove that C63 Mercedes.
Yeah.
And we drove the Giulia, and I drove the Giulia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you drove the Giulia and ran it out of gas, and Dave couldn't drive it.
I know. Anyway, so I drove that Giulia.
Yeah, you did.
So they were probably pretty close lap time-wise.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Same ballpark.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think they were probably about as competent as each other.
Right.
The Mercedes, even though it may have been a little faster, a little more technically competent.
Right.
That's more like Autocra.
Right.
And the Giulia would be more like David Bowie or Radiohead for me.
Sure.
Where it just felt like, oh yeah, I respect this. I respect everything this does, and I know what is happening is good.
Right.
but it doesn't make me feel things.
No, and I totally respect that, because I feel like with music and with cars, there's like this harmonic wave that we have as people, and certain things really resonate with that wave.
Yeah.
Right? And whether it's just like the ride quality of a large sedan, or like the brake feel, or windshield wipers, like there's these little resonant blips,
or the M&M's paint job,
whatever it is, 26-inch wheels, yeah, right, or like incredible snare rushes, or weird ass time signatures,
whatever it is that does it for you, or
exactly,
melody,
harmony. Yeah.
Oh, attacker jokes. Anyway, So that.
Hey, just be glad it wasn't Venetian Snares week, okay?
I've listened to Venetian Snares
because that is face melting breakcore. Jim, do not listen to Venetian Snares. Specifically, do not listen to the Pink and Green EP.
Don't do it.
Yeah, there's a song on there with an 11/14 time signature.
What's really weird to me is that I hadn't ever listened to Attacker before, because I've listened to like a bunch of other stuff
around it. Yeah,
from that
Boards
genre,
of Canada,
from that era.
Aphex, yeah.
And just never.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's really weird now because I can watch how many people are watching us, and I can see the count. We've dropped people since we started, and it's only been 10 minutes.
You might need to close that window just to preserve your sanity.
I really might.
Yeah. Ian, let's talk more about cars.
Okay.
The last thing I would like to say about Fantasy F1 is, on our show last week, 147, you accused me of stealing your Fantasy F1 technique of having higher cost teams, lower cost drivers. Ian, do you think I have the capacity to remember anything?
No.
Let alone a strategy you outlined?
But I think it was in there, rattling around.
You think it was in my
someplace,
my head peanut butter that I have?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
Just my head taffy?
I do. And you like shook your head in one particular way, and it like, like those games where there's like the holes that you have to avoid, like at Cracker Barrel and shit.
Yep.
And it did that. It just fell to the front of your brain.
Yeah.
And that's how you beat me at Fantasy F1.
I didn't change my team at all for the last race. I just changed my predictions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, congratulations. Lame. Now you're going to be beating me every other week because I'm terrible at the predictions.
Yeah.
Every time I think I have it figured out, I'll stay up and I'll watch.
Are you looking at like past races and practices and stuff?
Yeah. I'll look at the weather.
What does the weather tell you? Who does better in hot weather?
Mercedes.
Why? But this race was crazy hot.
Yeah.
So no,
they were like gonna win the race
until they didn't.
Bottas was gonna win the race.
Okay.
He was on pole.
Okay.
Hamilton should have been, and then after Bottas retired, Hamilton should have been in the lead, but Mercedes like completely fucked up a pit stop strategy to the point where the head of racing came on the radio and apologized to Lewis Hamilton. And the radio is like, it's public.
Right.
It's basically like, it's not like you pick up the phone and you call the driver.
It's not point to point, yeah.
It's you type out a tweet to Twitter, and it's just like, it's not a DM, it's a tweet.
Okay. All right.
Because all the other teams can hear it.
Okay.
And it goes to the world feed.
Right.
So like 400 million people hear it.
Right.
So for him to like get on that, like pick up the phone and be like, "Yep, my fault, my bad, sorry."
Wow.
Because Hamilton was pissed.
Sure.
As you can imagine.
Yeah. What else we got? Cars, Ian.
Cars. I have another like phenomenon that we need to name.
Yeah. So I wrote this down. Let's talk about the scenario for the phenomenon.
It also has to do with music. It's what made me think about it. I'm going to bring it back to cars, I promise.
Yep.
We'll stop talking about it.
We almost always do.
So,
I'm so sorry, Jim.
I do this thing where I listen to bands.
Yeah.
I listen to new releases by bands that I don't necessarily like on paper. I don't like.
Right.
I have listened to every Coldplay album.
Okay.
At least once.
Sure.
I have not enjoyed any of them.
Right.
I don't know why I continue to do it. But I have to. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with this like desperately clinging to my youth thing.
Well, I think there's something to say about it where if somebody's baking with ingredients that you like like instrumentation and stuff like that, like theoretically there's a chance you could like it.
Yeah.
Right? Theoretically there is.
Right.
It's a long shot for certain things, but so why not, right?
Well, but it happens. But if I know I don't like one of the ingredients, why do I continue to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, it's one of my things that I do. So I was listening. One of the people that annoys me in music is Father John Misty.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
someone who the youth like.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah.
I just find his persona like incredibly like exhausting and irritating.
Overly earnest. Yeah.
Right. His whole shtick is just too much for me.
Yeah.
But occasionally he writes a song that I just really, really like.
Okay.
And so I was thinking about that on the way over here because I was listening to one of his newer album, and one of the songs on there I really like, and it annoys me that I like it.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people have this same feeling with Kanye.
Right.
Where, like, Kanye West is just...
an awful human being.
An obnoxious human being. I think it's performance art. I'm in that school. Whatever, that's a topic for another time. But, you know, people get annoyed when the music is good.
Right.
And that's often the case.
Right.
And I was thinking about that with cars.
Okay.
Like, what cars have I driven?
Right.
And do we have a name for this?
Right.
Where, like, you get into a car expecting just the worst. You're expecting, like, a Pontiac G6.
Yep.
And it turns out to be way better than you thought. Like, it's like the gift of low expectations sort of thing.
See, yeah, the gift of low expectations. So, do you remember the movie Knocked Up with Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
I had rock bottom expectations for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Went and saw it, really enjoyed it.
Right.
It was really funny.
But if someone had told you this is the funniest movie I've ever seen.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like a self-imposed low expectation exceeding, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we were talking about it a little bit before the show where I was saying, like, with albums, I'll do that same thing. And I'll even like go so far to try to remove bias and be like, okay, if this came out and it had Massive Attack's name on it, would I like it?
Right.
If this was Uncle, would I like it?
Yeah.
You know?
That would be a good streaming service.
Right.
And you could market it specifically to people like our age, so you're right at the cusp of like if you don't keep listening to new music, then you're done.
Right.
Like you can't pick up listening to new music again when you're 70.
I feel like I've already passed that.
Well, I mean, we've gone over your music formula before.
Right. My music algorithm, it's 5 lines basically. Yes. Yeah, one of them is printf.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't remember where we're going with this. What were we talking about? No, cars that you have low expectations of.
Right,
you get in and you're like, oh my god.
But like, and I say like, well, if Aphex Twin did this, would I like it?
Oh, right. So the streaming service. So the streaming service that's marketed towards us, you know,
more you than me,
and they randomize the album art and name, and then only after you listen to the song completely and click a thumbs up or thumbs down does it show the actual information of the title.
Right. Yeah, like the vanilla stream.
Yeah.
Right, where it's just like it's just white labels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could do the same with cars. That's how they should really do press launches with cars.
Yeah.
They should just camouflage everything.
Like the prototype cars that we see going up and down I-70. That's what you should be in.
Yep.
Yeah.
With like randomized switchgear.
Right. Randomized switchgear. You could just use Alfa Romeo's default font because it's 17 different fonts.
It's all of the fonts. It's all of the
all fonts. Of the typefaces.
Oh my god. Actually. So we're also on YouTube chat right now. So we're on YouTube Live streaming.
Yeah.
Into your faces.
Yeah.
Nathan Adlin suggested the Saab 92X as one that was low expectations and was pleasantly surprising.
I can completely see. Right? I can completely understand why. Yeah, the Saabaroo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas my Saab is sort of the opposite.
Okay.
Victim of high expectations.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, because I think like Nick Taliaferro has a Saab Turbo X wagon. Mm-hmm. And he's modified it. And, well, I don't know if he has it anymore, but But yeah, I think that's one of the cars where I think it's more promising with mods.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There's a little Subaru.
The Subaru.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what is that? What is that term? What is that term? We I think we're circling it.
It's somewhere between begrudging and
because there's
acceptance.
There's an element to it when you find something that you don't like that you think you wouldn't like,
right?
And then you do. You're like, oh, I kind of don't like I don't like that I like this, right? It's like J.R. Ewing on Dallas.
Right.
Guess who watched a lot of television with his mother when he was a child?
And who's dating himself.
Yeah, that's
terribly.
fine. That's perfectly fine. Do you want to go deep on Dynasty references?
No.
We can, Ian. Yeah.
We should not do that.
Okay, here, I got it.
It's not quite guilty pleasure either, because you're like irritated that it exists in a good way.
I got it. We needed, what is an actor that shows up in a movie and you're like, oh, like,
I had this feeling watching Tom Cruise in Oblivion.
Okay,
because he's really good in that movie.
Sure.
And the movie's really good.
Right.
But
it's Tom Cruise.
And I was just like ready to not enjoy things.
Yeah.
And it irritated me that it existed in a quality way in the world.
Tom Cruise controls?
Yeah.
Tom.
You know what? Let's think about this while we consider some car examples.
Okay.
Because this brings us to our first FMK Cars.
FMK Cars is a game that Ian and Dave play on the show TeamClearCoat. It's based on that.
Why are we in third person now?
So I keep meaning to do this. I keep meaning to get a clear take of this.
And then just play it.
And then I was going to surprise you one day and just play it on the show. Yeah.
That would have been smart.
Yeah. But you're
FMK Cars is a game that Dave and I play on the show. It's based off the classic game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but instead of people, we play with cars because we're nice.
Not awful people.
F means you drive it for a day.
Hit it, quit it.
M means you marry it.
You put a ring on it.
And K means you kill it. It goes to the crusher.
I'm so sorry, Jim.
All right, so this one is called fine. I'll enjoy you, I guess. Cars that I didn't want to like and I shouldn't like on paper.
Okay.
But that I kind of like.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start with the most embarrassing one.
Okay.
Kia Soul.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember the visual that I had when you told me you were getting a Kia Soul rental. Well, no, it was, when you're trying to crate a cat to go to the vet, and the cat is just like, it's just like a starfish on the, like,
with all the claws out. Like somehow there's claws coming out of the tail.
I just pictured the rental agent at rental agency that shall not be named just trying to shove you into the soul, just like throwing a fucking LCD sound system LP inside. Like, here's a rare beta band. Go get it.
There's just a trail of whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. Okay, Kia Soul. Okay, is there a catch?
There's no catch.
Okay.
There's no catch to these.
Okay.
They're all wildly different cars.
Okay. All right.
But
tell the listeners briefly why you like the Kia Soul.
It was a thing that, like, I got into it expecting it to be just a horrendous, cheap, rattly place to be that handled terribly and everything else.
Right.
And it's not fast. It doesn't handle the best.
It's not supposed to.
But it's also like, it just, as I was driving it, I realized like it was a really good alternative to a crossover.
Okay.
Like it's basically it's kind of halfway between a hatchback and a crossover. And if you needed space to put a bunch of stuff, it's not really that roomy for passengers. But if you needed space to like throw stuff in, if you were like a young person who like needed to move into a dorm room,
right,
and you needed a little city car, you could do way worse.
You certainly could.
And and it had just a personality to it. Like there's a little bit of like effervescence to it. You know, like it's just light and fun. Like when you even the most raucous, man, we're all with the music references today. But like even the most like raucous people are among us,
right,
will occasionally hear a pop song and be like, "Oh, this is fun."
Right.
I remember what fun is like.
Yeah.
It's not serious. It's just fun.
Remember when you walked into my house and I was playing Mars Argo? Yeah. You were like, "What is happening? This has neither bleeps nor bloops."
We were devoid of bleeps and bloops.
But I think to the Kia Soul's credit, I think when you're making a car like this, you can go one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can go for broad appeal and make it as generic and vanilla as possible.
Nissan Rogue.
Or you can do what Kia did and throw some funk and throw some style to it, and the people that are going to gravitate to it are going to do that.
Right. And I think the Jeep Renegade kind of does a similar sort of thing.
Yep.
Even though that kind of pretends to be an SUV. And
Sure.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kia Soul. Kia Soul.
Nathan is killing me on the chat. He says, it's better than a Nissan Cube, so is chlamydia.
Thank you, Nathan. We might have to turn chat off. Okay, what's next? You're giving me an FMK car.
Oh, right. I forgot.
You're giving me chlamydia,
I seem to be
Ian.
talking a lot for this one. All right. And just to remind everyone, this one's called Fine. I'll enjoy you, I guess. Cars that I didn't want to like, but I shouldn't like it. And I shouldn't like a paper, but that I kind of like.
I haven't.
So the first one was Kia Soul.
Yes.
The second one was the Chrysler Pacifica.
Okay. The plug-in hybrid minivan?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Let's go non-hybrid.
Non-hybrid? Okay.
Non-hybrid.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
The context, not that one.
Yeah, I know. Ian.
The context for me, and it wasn't even the hybrid that we drove on in the mountains for the thing.
Right.
It was, remember the work trip that I had a couple months ago, and I got one of these as a rental.
Yes.
And it was like the most horrendous schedule that I had.
Yeah,
I was gone for like 26 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like a red eye, and I had no sleep.
Yeah.
And a 2-week-old baby. It was terrible. Anyway, it was just like I got into it, and it was just like, this is the most relaxing rental car that you could possibly have.
Right.
So yeah, that was the context for that one.
Okay, cool.
But I look at that car with fondness now, which is where normally I would just be like, well, that's not for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have any opinion on it one way or the other.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And the last one was another interesting one, another one that we drove last fall, the Lexus GSF.
Okay. Yeah, because you're not an old man sedan guy.
No, but I find myself thinking about that car
Right.
kind of a lot.
Right. I do too.
More than any other car we drove on that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
There was just something to that engine. Something about that engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
4,000 RPM was nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we talked about my affinity for the Lexus GSF on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I really, 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 really love it. So I think I'm going to marry that.
I kind of figured you would.
Yeah, like you're speaking my language. Like this is like that's like you saying like I liked that Autotegra album the most out of the Autotegra albums, and this is like, oh well, I was born into that Autotegra album. I live in that Autotegra album. Like when I fart, bleeps and bloops come out. Like
oh my
that's
God.
Yeah. I just burped a fax machine tone, Ian. So yeah, so that like a Lexus sedan,
right?
That happens to be weirdly quick.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Like quick, but in a perplexing way. Right.
Right.
There was an enigma to it. Right. It was a little enigmatic. Is that how you say that?
Yeah. Enigmatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say that.
Right.
Welcome to Ian. Ian double checks Dave's grammar.
That is a very strict role for you on this show.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know
Ian, I grew up in Missouri.
Yeah.
Ian.
I know.
Yeah, the Lexus. Yeah.
Okay, so you're marrying the Lexus.
I am, and I think one of the funnest things about the Lexus is like you just get the feeling that sedan shouldn't be doing what it's doing, but it does, and it's fine. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it shouldn't be as fun as it is. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's just it's funny. You know.
Right,
Again,
yeah.
we had we drove the Mercedes and the BMW that were about the same size as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a sticky one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was slower, but it was funnier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's better.
So then I'm definitely for a day, Kia Soul or Pacifica, just the straight Pacifica. I think for a day I'm going to F the Chrysler Pacifica.
Really?
And here's my plan for the
Chrysler
Pacifica. I hate to kill the Soul, but since I don't have one, no one else can. #Ginger. Ian. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to this is my fantasy. This is what I want to do. We need to find a way to make this work. Is we track it for a day. We get everybody with helmets on and radios, and we record everybody in the car just shitting on the driver. And then we just take turns rotating, and it's just like the riff bus.
That'd be fun.
Right? Of just everybody just cracking on the driver. And the driver can't say anything, right?
Yeah, it'd be even better if the driver wasn't hooked up to the radio.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What would you do, Ian? I think you'd marry the Chrysler.
No, I'd marry the Lexus. I'd crush the Chrysler, and I'd drive the Soul for a day.
What do you think you'd do with your Soul for a day, Ian? Look at you having a Soul, flaunting it around.
I think I'd run errands in it.
Okay.
I would do one of those like let's clear the decks.
Right.
Days.
Yeah. Hit the backlog of all the stuff you have to do.
And I just run around in it and throw all the junk in it that I needed to. Take the back seats out or whatever. Just throw shit in there.
Right.
And stock up at the liquor store and do all the other things that I do on my errand days.
Right.
And that's what I would do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. That's well suited for it. Ian?
What's next? You said you had talk about.
I have an FMK Cars for you. It kind of has a similar title to yours.
Oh, really?
Ian? This one's called Okay. All right. I'm so sorry, Jim. Okay. All right. This one is called Oh. You want that again?
No. Absolutely not.
Oh. Ian.
Yes.
You're gonna see what's going on. Okay? All right. First up, Ian, in your FMK Cars. Ford Taurus. SHO.
Okay.
V8.
Like that 2000.
Yeah, this one. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
With the weird spoiler on the back.
Yep. Okay. All right. And there's a catch. You're wearing orange Crocs all the time, Ian. Yep.
God.
Like Mario Batali.
Oh.
Okay. See, that's the third right there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me pull up the picture of this one. Okay. Yeah. Sure. SHO. Okay. All right. Second, Ian. Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to be?
Lancer. Sportback.
OZ Rally.
OZ Rally. Oh yeah, that thing. I've actually driven one of those.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure it handled nice.
It was okay.
Yeah. Right?
It was all right.
But I mean, it's like Mitsubishi Lancer. Oh. OZ Rally Edition. Oh. Ian. In this one, you wear a fedora 24/7.
Nope.
365.
Nope.
What if you only wore the fedora while you were driving it? And if you took it to the track, you had a special fedora that went over it, over your helmet.
I legitimately feel bad for anyone in 2018 who was like a fedora enthusiast from way back.
Right.
Because fedoras, if you haven't gotten this memo and you're wearing a fedora and you're not like a racist troll on the internet,
right?
Those things are ruined for you,
right?
Because they're now identified with the 4chan assholes.
Exactly. But also think about Paul F. Tompkins, circa 2002.
Yep.
Right.
Can't do it anymore.
Right. He was a dapper individual.
Yeah.
Ruined it. Ruined fedoras for him.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Not since the Chicago Mafia has someone done such a disservice to fedora wearers.
Then lastly, Ian, VW, Golf.
Oh God.
What do you think?
It's either gonna be all track.
Nope.
Or it'll be like a diesel or something.
Harlequin.
Oh, that thing's cool.
Okay, Ian. In this one, you have to dress like the cover of a Harlequin romance novel. Puffy shirt.
Am I the man or the woman?
Either one.
Okay.
Either one.
All right.
I'm envisioning you puffy shirt, just chest hairs, just to and fro and to and fro again. and like you have to grow your hair out long like Fabio. Yep. Just tight pants.
Oh, tight pants.
Tight pants.
Yeah.
Ian. Yeah. Okay. So
a wind machine.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know,
do I get to travel with a wind machine?
Yes. Right. Yes.
And like a mister filled with like olive oil.
So you look dewy. Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, the VW Harlequin is.
Why do they know so much about how to shoot Harlequin romance covers?
Exactly.
That's a lot of production detail.
But this is the VW that they actually sold. That is the body panels are a bunch of different colors.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it makes me think of a United Colors of Benetton ad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. #90s. Ian, what would you do, buddy?
Okay.
Would you wear a fedora? Would you dress like Fabio? Would you wear orange Crocs?
Orange Crocs, man.
Yeah. Either way, you're wearing a fedora or orange Crocs for a day.
Right.
Or super tight pants. Ian. While you think, I'll just take this time. Jim, again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Jim. Do not do anything we say. Listen to any of the things we like. You don't want to end up in a blanket fort in your 40s.
Yeah. All right. So I think the answer here, orange Crocs is tough because it probably means that I have to be divorced as well.
You just orange Crocs. What happens with the orange Crocs happens.
All right.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have to marry the SHO with the orange Crocs.
You have to marry that.
I have to because I also I have to crush the fedora.
Okay. You have to crush the fedora.
I have to crush the fedora.
So the Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally Edition. So for anybody who doesn't know, this is what Mitsubishi did in America at the height of Fast and Furious fervor. They put out a Mitsubishi Lancer when everybody was obsessed with the Evo and Gran Turismo and Fast and Furious. They put out a Lancer with OZ wheels.
And I can't remember the exact timing of it, but I thought it had something to do too with that the 10 wasn't ready yet.
Right. And the 8 wasn't legal or something. I don't know.
Right. I can't remember what the exact thing was, but it was basically supposed to be a stopgap to cash in on some of that.
Right. And it was like people that couldn't do a 2-door Eclipse, right?
Right.
But then this thing was like crazy expensive when it came out too. Yeah. Anybody who bought one, it seemed like they made poor life decisions, and that's coming from someone who's owned 3 Saabs.
Yeah. You see a lot of them, you still see them out there, though.
Yeah.
They're still
you
around.
do. Yeah. What made me think of this? Yeah.
Oh, did you see one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's getting crushed.
Yeah. Okay. Buy fedoras.
So then for a day, and the reason I went with this for a day,
okay, all right,
is I just feel like people could see me wearing orange Crocs. Like I could just dress how I normally dress, and they could see me wearing orange Crocs,
right?
And they wouldn't think twice about it.
Okay,
right? They would just be like, oh, maybe they make some excuse for me, or they go, oh, Crocs.
Yeah.
Or they go, oh, Crocs. Those are comfy.
Okay.
And then they would go about their day.
Okay. All right.
But I couldn't roll up in that and look like Fabio, or trying to look like I was
without raising
Fabio.
without people just letting you go on about your day.
Right. Well, not even that they would bother me, but that I would know that I would be a story for them later.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you wouldn't like the little legacy you're leaving.
Right.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of a lot of this in my.
Right. right. Or like somebody going like, "Hey, let me take a picture of you."
Yeah.
And then just let me take a picture, and then just like slightly turning the camera towards you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of that.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that. I wouldn't like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my strategy there. What would you do?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would kill the Lancer and the Fedora just right out.
Right.
Yeah, I think you might have chosen correctly, Ian. I think I'd do the SHO V8. Yeah, which was not good.
No, I had never drove one of those.
Yeah,
I
had a friend of mine in high school. His brother had one. Yeah, just not fast, not really good.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Anyway, Ian, do we have other things to talk about? Let's talk about more car stuff.
Okay.
Ian.
Should we talk about...
We should talk about Porsche. Yeah.
Let's talk about Porsche and their 919 tribute tour that they're doing.
Yeah.
So they've gone to a bunch of places already, but this last week they went to the Nürburgring. And if you guys have not watched the lap of that thing doing the Nürburgring,
that's insane.
Stop watching this nonsense and go watch that.
Ian.
It's
so fast.
Our watching count just went to 0.
Oh, okay, cool.
So people are taking our advice. Not what you're supposed to do, except for when we tell you not to watch us. See,
right.
It's a paradox.
It's one of those things.
Oh my God, Lauren's watching. Okay. So if you haven't watched the 919 tribute go around the Nürburgring, you need to do that. So if you don't know what this is basically the 2017 Porsche LMP1 class car from Le Mans, which is the top level class
at Le Mans, the fastest of the fastest.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy prototype.
Yeah.
And there's there's obviously a lot of rules around the around
regulations.
This class.
Yeah.
Right. You have to meet minimum weights.
Right.
And they had fuel restrictions.
Yep.
And so what Porsche did was they took the 2017 car, made the aero changes that they would have done in 2018 if they had been competing, but then took all the restrictions off.
Right.
So this is basically the aero. This is what a 2018 LMP1 car would be like if there were no weight minimums, or there was no they don't have to run at night, or they don't have to run in the rain because they took the windshield wiper off. They shaved weight wherever they could. For all that. They took out the air conditioner.
Right.
All that sort of stuff. And then they got rid of the fuel regulations. So it went from, so this is a twin turbocharged 4-cylinder.
Okay.
Is the combustion engine. It's a hybrid. So the combustion engine's twin turbo 4-cylinder, which I think was making like 550 horsepower.
Okay.
In WEC, which is the
restricted
series.
Yeah.
That's the series they run in, WEC. And then when they took the restrictions off, it's now making, I think it was 740 horsepower.
Okay. But then
720 horsepower.
But then also
they took the regulations off the hybrid system.
Right.
Which went from 400 horsepower to 440 horsepower, which is 440 horsepower plus it's like an 1100 horsepower thing, and it weighs nothing.
Right.
It weighs 849 kilograms. And it has all the downforce. Right. It's so fast that they took it to Spa-Francorchamps, which is like my all-time bucket list track in the world.
Okay.
And it lapped faster than a Formula 1 car.
Right. Yeah. The thing that's designed to be the fastest.
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane. So when they took it to the Nürburgring, which is, if you don't know what the Nürburgring is, it's the
14.3 or 14 point something miles. Yeah,
13 to 14 miles and like hundreds of corners, and very narrow and scary.
Something. Yeah.
And just smashed the lap record.
Like a crazy fast time for a sports car was always under 8 minutes. That is a car getting thrashed around the ring.
Right, and it was a big deal when someone broke 7 minutes.
Yep.
And then these guys did it in 5:12
or 5:19,
5:11, something like that.
Yeah.
Insane. It's the craziest thing. The number isn't really what matters. What matters is watching the onboard because it looks fake.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. You told me if you had that in a video game, you go, no, this is unrealistic.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, this is garbage video game.
Yeah.
It's so unrealistic.
Right. The sense of speed just looks completely off. It looks animated.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think part of it probably is that like I've watched a lot of onboard laps of the Nürburgring, and I've driven it on countless every driving simulator.
Every driving simulator I get eventually just becomes a Lotus car and a Nürburgring simulator.
Right.
Yeah.
So like all of these, even though I've never been there, like all of these corners are like
they're
completely
ingrained
familiar.
in my mind. Yeah.
Right. And it's just mind-bendingly fast.
Right.
Mind-bendingly fast.
Yeah.
And it's such a narrow track too that you really do get a sense of speed from the trees and the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, spare 5 minutes, and even if you don't normally watch racing videos, you need to go watch it.
There were a couple things that stood out to me about this onboard lap. Number one was the telemetry where the boost was. The boost was super low in the RPM range.
Well, but I don't think that was turbo boost.
You think it was electric?
I think that was electric boost.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I think they were using it to because I thought the same thing at first because I was like, this boost gauge doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But if you look where they're doing it, it was all on corner exit when it was at low RPM.
Okay,
and
so they're rounding out lag with that.
They're torque filling.
Yep. Okay.
Actually.
So the second thing, and you and I talked about this just texting back and forth, but the fact that car went around the course and laid down that quantity of power through 4, like I'm going to say contact, give me that book.
Right.
I'm going to say 4 contact patches of rubber, like a little bit bigger than this maybe?
Right.
Like 4 patches of rubber.
Right. Like it's starting to get to the point where you're trying to figure out like where the limits of physics are. Like we got to be approaching it, right?
Right. Like how could just rubber on rubber against asphalt like grip so much and be so reliable over the course of 5 minutes and 19 seconds?
It's insane.
Right? To deal with those forces.
It's just absurd.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like there's some magical wind machine propelling it. It's all getting transferred through the tires.
Yeah.
And the braking is so hard. The braking looks like it would destroy your organs.
Yeah. Everything about the lap is crazy. And like watching, you can see they also have it's not just front facing camera. They also have a camera in the cockpit, and you can see the forces that this guy's head is under. It's Timo Bernard, I think, who's like who's on their winning WEC team.
Okay,
just getting bounced around like crazy, and you realize like how much conditioning and strength driving a car with that much downforce and that much power like must actually take.
He had to be exhausted.
It looked insane. And we're getting to the point where like someone else said like, you know, we must be getting to the point where these cars are going to become undrivable. Like
right
because nobody's going to volunteer to strap themselves into them anymore.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
We're gonna have like car Chuck Yeagers.
Yeah, I mean we're basically there.
Right.
That's basically what this is.
Right. Yeah. This is like what was it? The X1.
X1.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Crazy, and it looks boss too.
But I 100%. I'm here for this for them. Which is you know we're done. We won Le Mans. And now we just want all the track records.
Right.
We're just gonna go get them.
Hey, here we have a car. We want to see how fast it goes around the record,
and it's faster than all of your cars.
Yeah.
I fully endorse all car makers doing this.
Yeah. Right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure. I mean, you've got it when you're at the edge, at the limit of technology and what's possible. You've got to learn things, right?
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge absolutely trickles down to our Kia Souls and shit.
No, I remember reading about how Michelin had to formulate special rubber and that had not been done yet in order to make tires for the Bugatti Veyron.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had the car, they didn't have tires that could.
Right. And now they're running the same thing with the Chiron because they think the Chiron will one day do 300, which is insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So Porsche. Smashing lap records.
Yeah.
Doing what they do.
Brings us to another FMK cars.
FMK cars.
So this one is called No Regulations, Only Rules.
Oh,
so this one has a catch. Okay?
This sounds like something you would be into, Ben. Yeah. No, from Parks and Recreation, like the Cones of Dunshire.
Oh, I didn't know what you were.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No regulations,
rules.
only rules.
So
So these are race cars, basically, that have been real race cars that were made with no series.
Okay,
So you can buy these race cars. You can't drive them in any racing series.
Right, but you could take it to the track and have fun on a track day and obliterate everybody.
Right, and just show everyone your money dick.
Right, exactly.
And and just rule the track day.
Yeah.
So race cars with no series with a personal rules twist.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So the first one will be the Ferrari 599 XX Evo.
Okay.
Evolution.
Yeah.
So this is one of those their XX series.
Yeah, it's got
That's
those.
that's not the FXX, the 599.
Oh, the 599. Okay.
XX. Sorry, I misspoke. 599.
No,
XX
I typed it wrong. Yeah.
Evo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So they made the Ferrari 599, and you could get crazy versions of that. But then they made the XX version.
Yeah.
Which was a track only thing, and it was one of those ones where like you couldn't actually take delivery of it.
Right.
That sort of nonsense.
Yeah. You were effectively leasing the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the world's most expensive track day.
Yeah.
Sort of track day rental.
Yeah.
So you can. So that's one.
Okay.
The catch is
Uh-huh.
you are a vegan, a strict vegan.
Strict vegan. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And like honey, like you're like one of the like the
Yep.
very, very strict.
Oh yeah.
And yes, as part of the rules, you have to talk to everyone about it constantly.
Oh fuck! That's the worst part about being a vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like CrossFit for me. Like
Yeah.
I see some CrossFit exercises and I'm like, that looks like fun. Like
Right.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
But then I remember you have to like contractually you sign something in blood that says you have to mention it to 6 people a day
Right.
that you do CrossFit.
Right.
And I can't do that.
Nope. Yep. So guess what? Then you don't get to swing those rope things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is an exhausting workout.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the first car.
Okay. All right.
The second car is the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah. GHI says, tell people about it while I type it, Ian.
This was Sesto Elemento is basically Italian for carbon.
Yeah.
Because it's the sixth element, and sesto is how you say 6 in Italian. I think all that's correct.
Okay.
I may have made all. It sounded good though. I believed it.
Sorry, Jim.
No, but so it's basically just a complete carbon fiber. It has like a Gallardo base to it, but it's like a crazy, like what the Gallardo would be if you didn't have to drive it on the road.
Yep.
And all of that sort of stuff.
And I think if I remember correctly, with this one, they did not mold the seats. It doesn't have seats. There's just padding in the carbon shell.
Well, the seats are like
they're
in the tub.
Yeah,
they're molded in the tub.
Yeah, but you can't take a seat out because it's just the tub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can take the.
It's in the chassis.
Yeah. You're sitting on the carbon tub. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They just put like glue some pads in there.
Yeah.
Which it's a Lamborghini, so the glue is definitely going to hold
stay.
up.
You peel it back, you're just like,
this is marinara.
I was gonna say Alfredo. Oh, okay. All
We're
right.
just revealing our sauce preferences tonight.
Yeah. What's the catch with this one?
Oh, the catch is
you are in the middle of doing an FMK cars.
I know. When you're not in the car,
you're
in boot camp.
Oh, okay. Not like booty boot camp like at the gym.
No,
like actual boot camp.
Not booty boot camp.
What? I want to go to booty boot camp. Get swole booty.
Oh my God.
Ian.
Yes.
So
booty boot camp.
I love it when I say something so gently that just knocks you on your butt. I have little things that I'll say that just somehow seem to.
Because now I have a whole scene in my head of you standing in the mirror in your Lycra and doing a little half twist.
Yeah.
And going,
feels like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go to booty boot camp. Like, because I just picture you saying it with like a little shoulder drop, and like, no.
Oh no, I'm proud of my booty.
I need to go to booty boot.
It looks like I did go to booty boot camp. Yeah, you need to correct that misconception you have.
Anyway, all right. So the third one.
Lucky the cameras still aren't on top of the thing. I'd get up. I'd shake the moneymaker.
Yeah, I'm happy. All right. So the last one is an Aston Martin Vulcan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. All right. Let me
This is another one where like
yeah.
there's no actual race series for it, but
yeah.
it's just super
It's
awesome.
just a crazy track car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adrian Newey, who you know from watching Formula One.
Sure. Scored 7 goals last week.
Adrian Newey, as we all know, is most famous in Formula One for being, let's say it together, the lead designer for the
chassis.
the Red Bull team.
Okay.
He's an aerodynamicist and a car designer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He was basically the architect behind like Sebastian Vettel's dominance.
Okay.
Before the hybrid era.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's his design because there was a tie-up between Aston Martin and the Red Bull team.
Okay.
And so the result of that is this car.
Okay.
Vulcan, which is super
crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
gorgeous and bonkers and awesome.
Yeah. What's the catch?
The catch is you are a Trappist monk.
Oh.
Which
okay.
means a loose vow of silence, poverty other than the Aston.
Okay.
and you have to make beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Delicious beer.
I've heard about this. Okay.
But you're a monk, so you have a vow of silence, which is going to be awkward when you get pulled over by the police.
Right.
In this, which is going to happen.
Oh, I dodged a speeding ticket today, man. Yeah.
Oh, really?
The guy radared me, and I slowed down, and he was just like, "I'm gonna let this motherfucker go." At least he hit the brakes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And he did that thing where he pointed the radar gun at me and moved it while I was driving by.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
You rolled out the window. Sorry.
Sorry, Jim.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jim. I just assume your name's Jim.
I'll donate to the police ball.
Yeah.
That works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can do that.
Okay, so how would the podcast play out if I was a Trappist monk?
Oh, indeed.
You'd be like,
I was wondering if you were going to
finally, the Ian Peterson F1 hour.
Shake my finger and point at you. And
actually, the podcast. Yeah.
Literally no one would listen to that.
I have a feeling there'd be followers, Ian. Okay, so... Oh, man. For a day, I will drive the Ferrari and be a vegan.
Okay.
I was a vegan for a few years, and it sucked, and I don't know why anyone does it, but people have certain priorities and ethics and stuff like that, and those are their decisions, and they can do that.
And they enjoy performing for people.
Yeah. So, honey is so fucking good, though, man. Honey is like... You know my affinity for honey. How many kinds of honey do I have in my cupboard upstairs?
More than I knew existed.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, man. I think I have to kill the Lambo in boot camp. As much as I like being active, I couldn't do that. Like, yeah, there's the difference between get to and have to.
Yes.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And so I think that means I'm going to marry and be a quiet monk. I'll be a silent ginger. Loose vow of silence, right?
It's loose vow. You're allowed to talk if it's necessary.
Right. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
They define it.
Life and limb and all that stuff.
Yeah. And then I guess there's like low-key sign language that they have.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you can do some of that.
Okay. All right. Good thing we're streaming video.
Yeah.
Then I could,
It'll help.
Podcast sign language.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll just make you beer. And
that sounds great.
So then the podcast would actually be really entertaining. It'd just be me mugging to the screen.
And me drinking beer and ranting, and then followed by we cut to you driving me in the Aston Martin and me shitting myself.
There you go. Because we all know you make a great passenger.
I'm fantastic.
I
don't get terrified at all.
What would you do? You would marry the Aston, right?
It's definitely my favorite car of the three.
It seems like the lifestyle that would most suit you, though, too.
It would be a good lifestyle. I have to be quiet, and I get to drive a fast car as my one indulgence.
Yeah.
And beer, I guess.
Right.
Would be my other indulgence. Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. I would marry that right now, even if it wasn't part of the game. I don't know why I'm thinking about this.
Quit digging, you hit oil.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I guess I would crush the Ferrari.
Okay.
And I would do the Lambo for a day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you do boot camp for a day?
Yeah. Boot camp is easy. I mean, I did it once before. It's not that hard.
So when you did boot camp, did they do the thing where they fit you for your dress, like your formal dress clothes at the end of boot camp when you're super skinny and then you have to wear them 2 years later when your neck has doubled in size?
I was like, because I had pneumonia for the last 2 weeks of boot camp.
Right.
So I was tiny.
they measured your neck. They're like, well, he has a 2-inch neck.
Well, and I also went in not weighing very much.
Right.
And because I had just no muscle. Not that I have any now, but
right.
I had none.
Right.
And then I was in boot camp.
Right.
And then I was in boot camp with pneumonia. So I was 135 pounds or something.
Jeez, Ian.
Which is 40 pounds less than I weigh right now. I was very sickly looking.
Yeah, and so
with the glasses too, because I can't wear contact with the glass. Sometime I'll bring in the picture of me at the end of boot camp.
Yeah,
it's pretty hilarious.
We need to see it.
Yeah,
the internet needs it. And so anytime you put on, what are they called for the Air Force?
The blues.
Dress blues. Okay, all right. Anytime you put them on was
No, it really wasn't that bad. I can't remember if they measured us at the beginning or the end, honestly.
Oh, okay. I had a friend of mine that would just, whenever he would get drunk, he would just put on his dress blues. He was just getting sloshed, having a few people over, playing cards, just getting wrecked. Eventually, sometime in the evening, he would wear his dress blues.
That's hilarious. Did they just not fit at all?
He could still get into him. He was a pretty healthy dude, yeah.
Yeah, mine are in a storage unit. I guarantee I could not fit in there. I'm too fat.
Oh, Ian, if people like the show, right?
This was a weird one.
Ian, was it really though?
I don't know. I feel like there's a chance that maybe somebody came to this new because we were on the YouTube streaming this time.
Sure.
And we should try to trick them into watching us again.
Let's not talk about luring people on the internet, Ian.
Yeah, we lure them into our van of weirdness.
Van to eat our XML candy. Yeah. So they should subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube if they want to watch the videos and look at pictures while we talk about the cars, right? They should rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes.
Right? We would like that.
We would love that.
They should also do what? What else should someone do?
Tell a friend.
Yep.
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to the first part of that, so I don't remember what you've covered already. Did you say the website, TeamClearCoat.com?
I didn't.
See, look at that.
And what else should somebody do?
Self-promotional expert. I don't remember. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Rate and review us on iTunes. Tell a friend. TeamClearCoat.com. The social medias.
Yep.
We're on those.
Yep. Tweet at us. And also send us your FMK cars.
Yes.
TeamClearCoat@gmail.com.
Did we have any voicemails?
We did not have any voicemails this week. If you see something, say something. The Team Clearcoat Automotive Hotline, Crisis Hotline. That is 720.
Hold on, wait. You're
gonna put it in the chat.
I don't remember it, so I'm gonna put it in the. I'm gonna put it in the chat. 720
515
515
1391
1391.
Henry still is my absolute favorite voicemail we've gotten.
Yeah,
the despair in his voice of seeing a Chevy HHR SS. Yeah. But if you see something and you just need to rant for a minute, call us. We'll
We're here for you.
Almost be there.
We are not here for you. Just to be clear, we're not here for you when you call. We will play it on the show later.
Yep.
Or we might not.
We're barely here for each other.
Or ourselves. Really, if we're honest.
But for real, 720-515-1391.
Yep.
Call us. Leave us a voicemail. You can text that line as well.
Yes.
Yep. So send us a text.
It does accept pictures as well.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. As we found out from our buddy that has to deal with the crypto.
You know what?
BMW X6.
Let's call this. This is the automotive equivalent of send nudes. If you see supercars, take a picture of those and send them to us.
There you go. There you go.
It's the automotive equivalent of send nudes.
Nice. I
don't actually send nudes.
No,
please
don't.
We don't want to see them.
Yeah. I texted you a picture of a McLaren MP412C.
Yes.
Did I get the model number right?
I think so. It's hard to tell between that and the first in the sports series, the 570S. For me, it's hard to tell those apart.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's.
But
I saw. But
you were right. Yeah, temp tags on a McLaren.
But it's definitely a used one.
And I saw it like 7 times that weekend. Just last weekend. Yeah. So it lives somewhere. Yeah.
Interesting.
I seem to be orbiting it. And I also saw it the day that my girlfriend and I drove up to pick up the Vigan. It was coming down Loveland Pass.
Oh, really?
Yep. So somebody's doing something right, though. They bought a McLaren used, and they're driving the shit out of it because I've seen it all the time.
We don't know if that's the right thing or not because
that is the right thing.
The used market has not existed for very long, and nobody knows how they're going to hold together.
It doesn't matter. That is the right thing.
Okay.
That is stress testing a McLaren.
Yeah.
I
like it.
With the streets of Denver. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Okay, Ian.
We did car show.
All right. We love you, and we're sorry.
We're very sorry.
Specifically to you, Jim, but we're sorry.
And in general.